I don't think the consumer is going to look at those machines side by side and say, well, I'm weighing one versus the other. The Wii is considered to be providing a very different experience. Right. When I think of my friends who aren't regular gamers, who didn't own consoles, they want Wiis, they're hearing about the Wii, they think that that is an experience that's accessible to them, that's for them. And I don't think that sort of layering this stuff on top of it that's sold separately, that doesn't come in the box, and maybe Microsoft will bundle it to try and create their own Wii experience out of the box. But even if you look at the design, the tilt, there's so many things that Nintendo did that define the Wii experience that I just don't think Microsoft can show up with a motion controller and some games from Rare and say, like, okay, we're here now, we're ready to compete.
It comes down, I mean, what do they have that killer game? What's interesting, you know, Lips, which sounds like a SingStar clone. I mean, is that really going to do anything? I mean, what's that magic game? I think no one's heard any rumors about that one game that's going to, you know, outdo Nintendo.
I mean, I think Ngai's right. The thing is that Nintendo, when they first announced the Wii, they said, we're taking a different path. So they're way out in left field now, and it just so happens that left field is populated with a whole bunch of people who want to spend money. Yeah. And now you have Microsoft and Sony.
Over there.
Yeah, and they're not going to, you can't just go that way. I mean, you can't suddenly say we're over where Wii is. And I think Microsoft has to be really careful about not trying to match the Wii, but still provide an experience similar to it.
But in fairness to Microsoft, they're going in a bunch of different directions. I mean, they've got community games, you know what I'm saying? So they're trying for the YouTube model and the indie game model and whatnot. You know, they're going to continue to do Scene It and other games like that and Lips to try and get the casual audience. And they've got Gears and Halo Wars and whatever the Peter Jackson project is for the hardcore. I think, though, that they need to be more confident about what they're about and try to just get to the essence of what they are. And I don't think chasing what Nintendo's good at or chasing what Sony's good at is going to ultimately serve them that well. Because
aren't they about online? Isn't that what they've talked about? You know, they're the best at online. I think everyone still agrees that Live is the best online experience. And there's talk about, you know, are they going to introduce a 3D version of Live or sort of, you know, some new version of Live? Stephen, I mean, do you think are they sort of falling behind a little bit with online, and that they haven't really innovated in a couple of years in the online space? And also, I think there could be a risk that they alienate some of these hardcore gamers if they veer too much in the sort of Nintendo direction.
Right. Well, I think it's notable that they didn't do a spring dashboard update, and so a lot of the speculation is that they'll have a grander update when the fall rolls around. I mean, we're talking a lot about sort of whether they should be chasing Nintendo, and I think Ngai's right to say that they need to come more to grips with just who they are and their own platform identity. And I don't think any hardcore gamer would be satisfied just owning a Wii. And as long as Microsoft can still find a way to sell their console and the games on it to the hardcore audience, then they should be fine.
But that's a number 2 business when they want to be the number 1 company out there, right?
But the rules have sort of changed, and to be number 1, you need to reach larger than the hardcore audience, and I don't think that they're going to find nearly the success that Nintendo has found doing that for all the reasons.
Do they need then a second console for, you know, do they need a Y box?
No, if they had, maybe they need to bring back the original Xbox and shrink it down or something like that, because clearly there's room for lower spec machines that can sort of, you know, achieve a more casual experience. And they have given, you know, they didn't allow themselves that opportunity this generation, and it may be not till next generation that the 360 can then become their number 2 console in terms of horsepower, but maybe their leading console towards reaching out to a broader audience.
See, I think they run a real risk of concentrating so much on the Wii that they're going to be blindsided by the PlayStation 3. Because the real tooth and nail battle is with the PlayStation 3. They're going after the same audience. It's funny when you look at when the Wii was coming out and you had people at Microsoft saying, oh, you know, the people are going to go out and buy the Wii and the 360. That's going to be the
will be the gimmick that'll, you know.
But that didn't happen. And I don't see it happening. I think people are going to choose one platform and stick to it.
So do we have any predictions for any surprises that we're expecting from Microsoft at E3? What do you want to hear from them? Or you hear any good tips about anything that we're going to maybe hear some rumors of? You know, Peter Jackson's Halo Chronicles, we're going to hear about that. There's rumors that, you know, we might hear of a Killer Instinct coming from Rare. Anything else that you guys are picking up that might be something to stay tuned for at E3?
I think maybe 3D Realms gets on stage and says, you know, Duke Nukem Forever exclusive to 360 or some future Microsoft platform whenever they're ready to ship.
Do you think we may hear about more sort of exclusive games from third parties? I've heard rumors that you know, Microsoft is going out pretty aggressively, spending a lot of money to get some exclusive windows on certain games. Do you think we're going to see more of that at E3?
Maybe we'll see Splinter Cell. again.
Splinter Cell will finally ship later this year, next year. That exclusive window may still be going on that.
Well, I mean, seeing, as how Microsoft Game Studios seems to be shrinking, then it behooves them to be going out and attaining third-party exclusives. I mean, and certainly we should be hearing more about the Grand Theft Auto downloadable content coming through.
Maybe.
There's absolutely something to crow about. Well, at least a reminder that it exists. I mean, they didn't publicize it too widely when the game shipped. It barely even mentioned on the box that they had it. So I expect them to push that more and at least begin with Rockstar to define what it's going to be a little bit more clearly than what we've heard. And I think that's very important. I mean, I think that you can't underestimate these days now the way that some games that are already out may evolve in ways that they become newly significant. So we could be seeing on the Xbox as well as the PS3 Grand Theft Auto and Burnout Paradise, another game where there's an aggressive, bonus DLC, downloadable content plan in store. We could see those games kind of resurging in popularity and relevance the way that MMOs traditionally on the PC, when they get a major patch or an expansion, become newly relevant to that audience. And so, I mean, it could be that the big games for the Xbox 360 for the fall are in part games that we've already been playing for much of this year, but kind of reborn or improved or, added to.
Interesting. Maybe that Perfect Dark DLC is still coming?
I can't wait.
And Guy, Brian, anything else we should look forward to at E3, do you think?
No code switching on stage.
All right, words to live by. When we come back, we're switching to another competitor of the Xbox 360. It's the PlayStation 3. What is Sony going to do at E3? You can find out next time right here in the bonus round.
Next time on the bonus round, it's PlayStation 3. What can we expect from Sony at E3?
Their financial predictions show that they're not planning to cut price.
Does the PS3 really have a shot at winning the console war?
What I think that they have the ability to do that I don't think Microsoft has as much the ability to do is to tap into some of that mainstream or casual crossover audience.
And what the heck ever happened to home?
I could see them dating it at E3. I don't think it's going to be coming, I don't know, maybe it could come for this holiday.
Find out next time only in the bonus round E3 preview.